So I wrote this book, Truth Be Told, Revelations for a Just World. It took me a year to write, and I'm grateful for lockdown that I had the time to do it. I write about my life in the book. It's about me from the ages of 0 to 36 and all the things I went through in my life, all the challenges that I faced. One of the things that I really wanted to write about was domestic violence, because I grew up as a survivor of domestic violence. I witnessed it and then I experienced it as a child. And you know that in the 21st century, 2 women are killed every week in England and Wales. It's still happening. And so where is the justice? What can we as a society do about this? Do you know that 1 in 3 women aged 16 to 59 in England and Wales will experience domestic violence? Why do we consider this to be normal? So I wrote this book to change systems. It wasn't just for me to heal and to grow, it was to raise awareness as well. This is not acceptable. We're not to tolerate it anymore in society, and things need to change. So I'm very solutions orientated, and some of the solutions I think that we can have open to us to end the cycle of domestic violence is for women to be listened to, women to be heard, and for the courts and for the justice system not to treat this as just another domestic. It's really important for women's voices and for their stories to be validated and to be listened to, and for systems to change. Women are objectified every single day all around us in the media. We're judged on our beauty, we're judged on our looks. What about all our other qualities? I don't want to turn around and see a woman with hardly anything on and be told that this is how she needs to be valued. I think about the qualities that woman has, about her intelligence, about her wisdom, about her kindness, about her compassion, about her sense of humour, about the things that she might want to do in this world, not just standing there looking really thin and taking her clothes off. When we objectify women, we don't treat them as people, and thinks a man has a right then to just beat a woman up because he doesn't see her as a human being, he just sees her as an object. It's about time this stopped. And when I was going to school, boys were told that they were strong and that they were allowed to go out and do whatever they wanted and climb trees and take risks on their bikes. And girls were told that they had to sit still, had to be quiet, they had to behave, they couldn't be adventurous. All the fun things, all the risky things weren't for them. And I sometimes wonder if things have changed that much since I was at school over 30 years ago. Why is it there's one rule for girls and one rule for boys? And why are boys not allowed to be sensitive? Why are boys not allowed to voice how they feel? If they're upset, why aren't they allowed to cry? Who starts all this? If boys were allowed to express their feelings, maybe they wouldn't be expressing their feelings by hitting women. It's not the way to express your feelings, by hitting somebody. So I hope that people read my book. It's an honour if they do give the book the time and they get something from it. They learn something from that, and they also think, hey, I want to do something to change this world for the better. And I'm not alone as I'm going through all this. There's many others like me who are all going through the same thing, or have gone through the same thing, and we've survived. And we're here to change the world, because it's about time that this world was an equal place and that women were free from being afraid. Women don't fear violence. They can go out any time of the day or night wearing whatever they want, behaving however they want to, without having to worry and look over their shoulder that something might happen to them. Because they know that in a new society, they will be treated with respect. Well, the short answer is I had quite a lot of time on my hands with COVID, and so it gave me the reason and the time for the first time in a long time to actually do the writing that I've been meaning to do for years. I wrote the book really, it was kind of selfish to heal from my past, because I went through a lot as a child through domestic violence, and then I was dependent on alcohol through a lot of my adult life. So I had all this trauma to process, and writing the book helped me to process that trauma. But at the same time I wrote it because I wanted to raise awareness of what was going on in the world and how women and their children continue to be failed by our systems of the police, the courts, the justice system, health and education system. Women are constantly let down, even now, by all these systems that kind of work against them whenever they try and get a better life for themselves, or whenever they try and get justice for themselves and their families and to make their lives better. So that's why I wrote it, to help women who are going through it know that they're not alone and they can get through it, and there is a way to get through to the other side, and that there's lots of really powerful, strong women that are fighting to change these systems. So I talk about domestic violence, I talk about alcohol dependence, I talk about my life traipsing around the world, going to war zones, and then I also talk about my time in the mental health system as well, when I underwent complete physical and mental burnout in my 30s. So it's a very candid account of my life, and so that people realise that what they're going through, they're not on their own, and there's no shame or guilt to be had from it. And to really just to accept themselves and accept these experiences, and that they're there to make us stronger. One of the first things is really not to objectify women in the first place, because women are treated really as on how they look a lot of the time. You know, you're too fat, you're too thin, it's about this, what you're wearing, and it's not as if women are treated, even now in the 21st century, as human beings. And so once we start, you know, girls and boys start respecting each other and treating each other as human beings, then that's when things start to change. You know, we look at the person's qualities and not just about the way that they look. I think also, you know, boys aren't allowed to be sensitive. They grow up and they're told, you know, boys aren't supposed to cry. They have to be tough and they have to be strong. And girls aren't supposed to shout or scream. They have to be quiet and they have to be gentle all the time. And it's kind of all these stereotypes. I think everyone's unique and individual, and we're all interconnected as well. And it's really important for us just to be that full human being. You know, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're a girl or a boy, and once we can accept ourselves for the full spectrum that we are as human beings, and not you have to be this and you have to be that, that's when we start to change society.